Is that gonna be okay with my hair like that?
Here I go. Hi, what's up? It's Maddie. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about how I went from maximalist to minimalist and everything that I've learned from practicing minimalism for the past 5 years and decluttering over 90% of my stuff. So if you're new to my channel, hi. I already said that. This is how it started, okay? I am just, to this day, not a naturally clean and tidy person. I am like a life wide open person, and it's kind of a mess. I'm trying to build this skill and put habits into place for myself as I grow and as I age. I love the peace and serenity and just warm hug that a clean and tidy home is. So I really value that, but I just struggle with keeping things neat and tidy. Please tell me I'm not the only one. Trying to find a solution to that problem is really what drew me towards minimalism. The first book I ever read about minimalism was a book by Joshua Becker. I'm gonna link it down below for you. If you're new to minimalism or you just want some more inspiration for minimalism, The Minimalist Home. That book was a light bulb moment for me of owning less is way better than organizing more. I was listening to the audiobook and I just started ripping through our house, decluttering things, getting rid of things.
We ended up getting rid of a ton of stuff.
It's been 5 years and it's crazy to think back on our first apartment. Our first apartment was actually bigger than this house, and we had so many storage pieces of furniture. Anything and everything that you could think of on a Pottery Barn wedding registry, we had it. We don't own anything we got as a wedding gift. Okay, I shouldn't say that. What I learned was that accumulating things, this part of me that especially once I became married and then especially once I became a mom, it's this nesting urge of just accumulating things and making a perfect home, what I thought would be a perfect home that would make me and my family happy. Buying things, having all these things just in case, having extra glasses for when company would come over so that I could be a good hostess, saving sentimental items for my children so that someday they could have them. They were supposed to be giving me a return on investment of happiness, and they just weren't. It was quite the opposite. In fact, I was very overwhelmed by having to keep and maintain and clean all of this stuff. And I'm guessing that if you're watching this video, you can relate to that. You know what I'm talking about. You're someone that's cut from the same cloth. You want peace and tranquility and clarity of mind, especially in your home, but for some reason it's just not coming very easily. And it's hard because we're marketed to crazy. All I can say is that in my experience, as I started decluttering, I immediately felt peace and tranquility and clarity of mind and contentment. For me, the letting go rather than the hoarding was a total mindset shift. And so it wasn't just the physical things that I started letting go of. It was actually some of the other unhealthy habits, relationships, commitments that were no longer positive for me either. I think of myself now and I actually really enjoy homemaking. I mean, when I have the home to myself, one of my favorite things to do is actually put on music and just clean. There was one other book that was really, I guess, integral in my mindset shift, and that's Simplicity Parenting. And it's actually more of a book about slowing down and kind of fostering this simple way of life with your kids. That was when I went all in. If you were to come over to our house, you probably would not walk through the door and be dang, y'all are minimalists. We have a very normal home. We don't live without toys. We don't live without dish towels. We just don't have closets and drawers and a garage full of stuff packed away that no one's using. I was trying to impress people with the things. I just don't care anymore. I just want to have quality time with quality people, and that's really it. Ultimately, I feel I have breathing room, which is a beautiful thing. And no one can sell you that. It's just only something you can kind of give yourself by changing your own lifestyle habits, your own calendar, and the physical stuff that is in your life, in your home, so that you can enjoy your life more. Also notice that I use my phone a lot less, because it's just become so much more important to me. Live slowly and more intentionally. I don't think our brains were meant for that much stimulation, that much information being input, which is the same reason why I feel like living life with less stuff. It just means that there's less tabs open in my brain. And so same is true with my phone. Having my phone on me, even just like replying to texts all day and trying to be in like 3 different conversations, and then also being engaged and connected with the people that are actually in my home, it's hard for me to not get overwhelmed. So that kind of leads me to the 5 lessons that I've come up with that I feel like I've learned about slower and simpler living from 5 years of minimalism. And the first is unpopular opinion, but that is that screens cause chaos. Says the woman talking to you through a screen. But I want to make this point because it's something that I just really have felt in my own life lately. It's just since getting rid of our TV, I noticed we have a lot more stillness and slowness about our day. Time just spent reading, time spent just having the kids having free independent play, or time spent outside. I feel like we found a lot more room in our schedule when we got rid of our TV and started just using our phones, when the kids aren't around. That's just me, but I do feel like when I get into like weird funks where I'm on my phone more and the kids are around, like it always causes me overwhelm. So that is my first lesson, is that screens, there are positives to it, but the negatives come fast and furious. So I'm just careful to not use my phone in front of my kids, and that's the boundary that I have on it. Lesson number 2 is memories keep just as well without hanging on to the physical items. So I just this last weekend went through a bunch of sentimental stuff that was being stored at my mom and dad's house in the garage, and I took photos of some of it and got rid of all of it, the physical items, because the memories are not in those things. Sometimes I think we can use the things to trigger the memory, but just keeping a box of stuff that was getting destroyed by just weather and pests anyway in their garage was not doing them any service, not doing me any service, and not doing any service to the earth. Like, things can get reused when they're still in good condition, and that's just my own perspective on it. Memories keep just as well without hanging on to the physical items. You can let them go. And then number 3 is that today is more important than someday. I used to keep a lot of things just in case, and I found that someday just never came. I heard this story. It goes like this. There was a man hiking through the woods, and when he came to a river, he thought, oh, it'd be nice to have a raft. So he went through the forest, cut down the nicest logs, and fashioned himself a beautiful raft. The raft worked great across the river, and he got across safely. When he got to the other side, he thought, man, this is a great raft. I should keep this in case I come across another river someday. And he proceeded to carry the raft around on his back for the rest of his life. Can we just take a minute? We rationalize away hanging on to and managing physical stuff, boxes and boxes of stuff that we will likely never use, and it really detracts from our own enjoyment of the present moment, which is all we have. Number 4 is that it is okay to buy things and enjoy things. Maybe that sounds dumb for most of you. Like, yeah, there are things that I still buy that do add value to my life. I think that that is a misconception, that minimalism and going minimalist means that you can never give a gift again, you can never have a birthday party again, no more Christmas. I think it's just such a misconception. I think that you become better at buying things. At least that's been my experience. I used to just act on impulse. I've become a much more conscious shopper. I've become a slower shopper. And I just notice when I get triggered to use retail therapy. And I think that's a great step, is just noticing and having that moment of pause of like, I am really proud of myself for that. And I'm not going to lie to you and be like, I'm about a single thing in 5 years and I haven't made an impulse purchase. Yes, I have made stupid purchases in the past 5 years, and unfortunately I have had to declutter some of them. And you know what, like, those have been really valuable learning moments for me though, where I get to actually reflect on what is the thing behind the thing that made me want to medicate with shopping anyways. And I think that is the gold. I don't know. I don't have like a finishing thought for that. I just know that buying things is okay. And number 5, I don't regret anything that we have decluttered in the past 5 years. And I mean that. For the most part, I don't even remember what we got rid of. Let me say this final thing to you before you get started, and that is, you're gonna be okay without your stuff. You're gonna be better without your stuff. Life is meant to be lived. Your home is meant to be lived in. It's not a storage place. You're not Walmart. Like, let Walmart be Walmart. I think it's such a lie that stuff is gonna make us happy. We know it's not, but it feels really good to let go. Well, I hope that these life lessons I have learned over the past 5 years just playing with minimalism have been helpful. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you in my next one.